Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 9th of May, 2024. I'm Sean Elmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, it was a rough day on the market today with the S&P ASX 200 closing down 1.1% to 7,722 points. The consumer discretionary stocks suffered most of the damage after JB Hi-Fi, Super Retail Group and Baby Bunting all released disappointing sales updates. Financials, real estate and healthcare stocks were also lower. The energy stocks were among the best performers. Looking at the large caps of the top 10, only Macquarie ended the day higher, while CSL, National Australia Bank, ANZ and Goodman were all down more than 1%, and Wesfarmers was off 3.5%. Westpac was down about 5.5%, but it went ex-dividend, so it had a bit of an excuse. Story number 2, Scentre Group, owner of Westfield shopping malls in Australia, said it expects higher operating costs as a result of the Westfield Bondi murders. Scentre has added extra security to the facility. That will hurt the bottom line, though. Scentre didn't actually change its earnings guidance today. Chief Executive Elliot Rusanow said while the number of guards will double, the property group's also exploring upgrades to security technology. In an investor update today, Scentre said total customer visitor numbers across 42 Westfield centres for the 18 weeks to May 5 increased 2.8 million to 175 million people. Sales are up almost 2.5% to about $6.5 billion. Westfield's share price fell 2% today. Story number 3, one of Bonza's 5 former aircraft, nicknamed Bruce, has left the country bound for Honolulu, then who knows where. 4 other Boeing 737 MAX 8s parked on the Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast and at Melbourne Airport will likely soon follow after being repossessed. A creditors' meeting is due to take place tomorrow, according to The Australian, to update around 60,000 creditors, including 58,000 customers, 323 employees and 120 traders. Employees have been told they will not be paid for their work in April, and customers are unable to be refunded for fares paid on cancelled flights. All but 21 of the 323 staff remain stood down without pay until at least May 14. Story number 4, the Swedish central bank unexpectedly cut its key interest rate by 25 basis points overnight. It probably wouldn't normally rate a mention, but it is interesting that developed economies are moving into rate cutting mode. The European Central Bank has already signalled it's set to cut rates in June, while the Bank of England is due to meet overnight. Now, it's not likely to change rates, but the wording on the next move will be closely watched. While in Europe, share markets are surging, with the Stoxx 600, a measure of the top 600 companies in the region, hitting a new record. The Stoxx 600 is up 2% this month on the back of stronger earnings figures and expectations that the ECB will cut rates. And story number 5, tensions between Israel and its closest ally, the United States, are growing, with President Joe Biden saying he will not supply offensive weapons that Israel could use to launch an all-out assault on Rafah. Mr. Biden said he's concerned for the 1 million civilians sheltering in the southern city, the last major Hamas stronghold in Gaza. Mr. Biden, in an interview with CNN, said the US was still committed to Israel's defense and would supply Iron Dome rocket interceptors and other defensive arms, but not if they're going into Rafah. The US has historically provided enormous amounts of military aid to Israel. A shipment that was halted last week consisted of 1,800 900-kilogram bombs and 1,700 225-kilogram bombs, according to a senior US administration official quoted on Bloomberg. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 9th of May, 2024. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.